Tell him to stay. Tell him to keep a little distance. He too close. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, I got you. Yep. Yep. Let everybody give it a second. Yep. 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 Subscribe. Peace. 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 Let your people know we're gonna give a little history. Peace. Peace. Peace to the gods. Peace. Peace. Peace to everyone. Peace. 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 Positive vibrations. Peace. 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 Yep. 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 Peace, everybody. Peace, 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 peace. Subscribe and like. Hit the notifications, man. Peace and love to everybody. Peace, 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 peace. Positive vibrations at all times, or you will be blocked. Yeah. Peace, 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 peace. I'm multitasking, so give me a second. How everybody doing, man? Hope everybody having an awesome week. Productive week is that. I hope everyone having a productive week. I know I have. It's a beautiful day. Well, every day it's a beautiful day. But it's always a beautiful day when you know exactly who you are and you know exactly what your mission is in life. And you don't get caught up in other people's ideology or their dogmatic belief systems. Because we're here not to prove nothing to no one. I'm not here to prove nothing to no one. You know, that's not my mission to try to prove nothing to one. My mission as a Sufi and as a sheikh and as a scholar, as an educator, as a brother, as a teacher, as a counselor, is to share light. And light gives light to understanding. I tell a lot of Moors, isn't it ironic when all you see is Moors arguing with each other? You got Moors using ideology and there's one science, only one temple. It's only one Moorish Quran. You can't arbitrarily explain science. And the reason why, because most are chasing dollars and the divine comes first. I promise you. I teach simple science, man. That's why the divine comes first. That's why you see grown Moors getting in trouble chasing things. You see them filing fake paperwork, chasing a dollar. Peace, Noble Brian. It's all fake. All fake. So yeah, we on the Temple and School page too, B. That's why Moors all over the world are lost. Because they'll say, it's no temple in my area. And then they'll say, oh, the temples are infiltrated, but never been to a temple. Don't even know a real sheik from a temple. And I'm like, if you're going to just do barbershop talk, there's no reason looking for likeness. There's no reason for looking for science. If you're just going to think more science is just goofies on the internet telling you to file using catchphrases, doing that European sovereign citizen shit, that ain't more science. That's a European, a sovereign citizen militia stuff. That's what that is. Paper terrorists. All that expatriation from this de facto government is all fraud. And every true sheik and true Moor should tell you that. That's all fraud. It's all a game. And I say this over and over to try to keep Moors in good company, but most Moors that are poor mentally, they think somebody can make them something. And these Moors think they're going to get a check. That's the problem. That's the problem. All these squatting in houses, drive without no license. I'm finna do this. I'm finna file a whole bunch of goddamn paperwork. Paper terrorists. Domestic terrorists. That's all you are. But show me something productive. Show me literature. Show me kids you tutoring. Show me the Moors adopting the school, walking them boys to school. Show me these Moors that's still in their neighborhood they grew up in, that them and them Moors is actually assisting them young kids walking to school in the morning. Show me the Moors that got lunch, breakfast programs like the goddamn
Panthers did back in the day, that these Moors in the community, instead of just getting fake ass security cars and Moors want some goofy ass ID, you ain't doing nothing. Because they don't want to understand, they don't want to learn the basics, the rights of the indigenous people. They don't want to know law. I'd be laughing. I said, man, all this shit is criminal stuff. It's a lack of understanding. It's a lack of wisdom. And Moors out here playing. And then they go to jail, talk about they don't consent, and they rot in jail because they bums. Come on, man. We got to do better than that, man. The divine come first. I ask anymore, would you teach this stuff to your children? Would you teach any of this stuff to your children that you be seeing on the internet? All I see is criminal stuff. Moors talk about they canceling corporate debt. I'm like, what you trying to cancel? What are you canceling? Oh, I'm trying not to pay child support. That's a civil suit. That's a civil suit. You shouldn't have had a kid with a woman that was going to put you on child support. Y'all should have sat down and talked about it and said we're going to raise the kid. We don't need no government in it. It take a village to raise a child. That's why today when these Moors be lying, talk about Noble Dry League, tell our Moors to go to the city hall to get a marriage license, that's bullshit. That come out of that bullshit resurrection. No disrespect. I told you a lot of stuff be truth and falsehood mixed. Why would any God man today that understand tribal rights would tell you to go to the goddamn city hall and get a marriage license? Why? Ask the European Mormon, do they do it? Ask the Amish, do they go get a marriage license? So why would I, as a sheik, I wouldn't tell you to go do no shit like that. You would get your union papers from your sheik that say y'all going into a union. I'll sign it, you will sign it, she sign it, and our notary, our tribe will sign it. It's legit. And you get it for your records and we'll keep it in our records. Done deal. So why you got to use somebody else for the holder of your records and we are the holder for our records? That's the importance of being a tribe is. That's the importance of the temple. That's the importance of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is. I'm legit. We a real school. We a real tribe. I'm a real tribal leader. I can't make you nothing. But a tribe is a group of people of understanding. The Ish in Moorish is our culture, the way we dress, our sheik that we agree with, our tribal things, our culture, our books, our religious rights of the indigenous people, our annexation of our national name, which is Elder Bay, House Joint Resolution 75, Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, the SF 181 form. All these things that's in the Constitution. We're not here to overthrow nothing. I'm here to let you know exactly who I am. I'm here to put you on notice. That's proclaiming, declaring, and have due process. That's on your own. The other is being a part of a tribe. That's how you connect in all the dots. You got to understand this. That's the religious rights. It trumps all that shit. Thomas Jefferson was inaugurated on the Quran. Y'all got to know this. We let people get us caught up like, well, you don't want to be in no group. Why not? I want to be in the right group. I don't want to do nothing by myself. You're going to go in business by yourself and be the only one. No, we're a conglomerate. We're a chain. We're a link. We do things together. We're getting ready to have our 3rd annual Moors Ball in January in Arizona. Suited up. Then the next day we're in our Moors garment. VIP, red carpet shit. I ain't out here leading no Moors to no burning house. Got Moors out here doing shit, squatting in houses and getting them arrested. Why would I be doing something like that and people think that's Moor science and all these grown people, even women, getting arrested, talking about they got some prisoners of war paperwork to get you out of jail and you believe that shit and you pay for that shit? That's what I say. Only people that get scammed is people that want to get scammed. None of that shit from no person is gonna mean nothing. You can't get nothing from nobody that's gonna make you something. Nothing. Only thing a person can do is make you is a Mason. That's all they can do. They can't make you a Moor. Feds don't make you righteous. The garments don't make you righteous. And all that stuff don't be Moor science. None of that stuff. I'm like, okay, so all you gotta do is ask, where the Moor science? Ask, they said, where's the Moor science? They gonna start talking to our prophet said, don't be bad. That ain't not what he talking about. He said, don't be a criminal. Read our divine law and constitution. Read it. Read it. Read all your Act 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Read them. It's plain and simple. So what's happening? Moors are going against their bylaws. It's plain and simple because we're not here to overthrow no government. Fucking period. So how can a Maury sit up here and do the shit they doing and record it and come with all this criminal shit and then say it's more science? All you're gonna do is use your own shit against you. Start looking in them people's eyes. Start looking in them people's eyes that's doing all the criminal stuff. Look in their eyes. It'll tell everything about them. Look them in the eyes when they talking to you. Don't just look them straight in their eyes. It'll tell you everything. And it's so easy to destroy that bullshit. It's so easy. All that rhetoric is miscued. That's why I said a stupid person cannot be in an intelligent man's game. All we do is ask a series of questions and then throw the questions back to them, reword the questions, and they'll tell on themselves. It's that simple, because all of it's fugazi. I ask any man, would you put your kid in that car and pick up your parents with that fake shit? No insurance, no nothing. Why would you want to do that? Why? And what's that's going to do for your well-being and an uplift in the fallen humanity? Tell me. I ask all these brothers, I say, okay, you got a trucking business and you got all these brothers that's out of prison like I help and got their license and they doing their own thing. And you tell them, oh man, no, don't get no license and give away your operator's license, your CDLs and your insurance on your truck. Would you listen to somebody that, and that's your way you make money and you do it on your own and it's contingent on you to have those licenses? That ain't nothing wrong with that type of contract, being an obligor in that. And you're going to listen to some goofball Negro tell you what they don't do because they poor living in a motherfucking YMCA and the person that's driving them around have operator's license. You are not going to listen to them fools. And if you do, you just as crazy as them. You just as crazy as them. I be telling y'all, these is poor man games. These people living on Section 8, welfare, talking all this shit, but the government is their daddy. They living with women on Section 8. Ain't that crazy? You talk all this shit about the government and in public housing. You talking all this shit and the woman you with on Section 8, getting motherfucking food stamps. Talk to me, man. Living in an apartment and her shit rent $35. Huh? See? None of that shit no more science. You think any guy, man, made video teaching people, talk about cancel some corporate debt, making videos with that fake ass book, that green book, telling you to do all this fraudulent stuff? Hell no. That's a Europeans game. That's that paradigm group shit. I told y'all. See, all this shit is getting people in trouble. It ain't no such thing as not paying taxes unless you legit. All that sovereign citizen shit is goofy shit. That European with that paradigm group, they all went to jail. I don't care if you can write a book and all that. You still go to jail. That's what I'll be telling people. And then these Moors be on Instagram with all these people with that fraudulent shit. And y'all be giving them all y'all information. Y'all don't even know if they the feds. That's why I said people be so smart fucking dumb. You meet motherfuckers on the internet. Ooh, I'm gonna get a passport from an individual. Think about that. How can an individual get you a passport? How can an individual do any of this that you met on the internet? How? Tell me. You can't. You can't. Because more than confused, they don't know the truth of their religious rights. You acting like a sovereign citizen. You acting like a domestic terrorist. I'm telling you, you acting like these European militia groups. I'm telling you. Everybody know I'm telling the truth. I'm in Arizona. I'm telling you, I'm in a red state, which is a military state. That's that European shit. Excuse my candor. We Moorish Americans, we ain't here to overthrow no government. You got every right to do everything you're doing if you organize the right way. That's what I be telling people. Stop barking like a dog. Organize. Organization is the key. You see churches, what they tag say on their church van, non-for-profit. You not know, these people talk about they some diplomat. You go in there, your whole story is wrong. That's why I'm like, if I was a referee judge, I'm locking you up. That's contempt of court. You ain't no national, you ain't that. That's a tribal play, has nothing to do with what the fuck you talking about. And what group of people try to roll around with a tribal play? You saying you a national. Okay, so where you got allegiance with another state or something, country, something. Okay, you got a passport? No, you right here. So you just made this shit up at the crib. Are you a diplomat? You got immunity? No. All that, no. So what is this tag thing? You made it up. Well, I'm private. Private what? And then these people, so are you insured? So then if you got that and you got insurance and you got that, like, okay, so you tripping. Is your car registered? So do y'all understand what I'm saying? When you start peeling layers back and it be so much shit, I know a goofy Moore went to the motherfucking store with a goddamn goofy ass ID at Walmart. And I know people on the reservation out here that I tutored and went to school with at Grand Canyon University. And a lot of times, they don't even have to let you buy alcohol or cigarettes with your tribal ID. So this goofy Negro in there making a scene, got arrested. The cop pulled him outside. I'm walking past. They like, the goofball got his license in his pocket. In his fucking pocket. And this is what I be saying, man. It's like, come on, y'all now. That stuff not more science. I don't care who promulgating that shit. Let's see where they'll be at in the next couple years with that shit. Y'all ain't seeing the true story of all these people calling me late nights. Sheik, we been what's that catchphrase? Kidnapped. You ain't been kidnapped. You out here illegal. You out here doing dumb shit. You don't know the restrictions in law. I tell everybody it's restrictions in law. I ain't telling you what you can or can't do. I never argue with nobody. Do what the hell you want to. I know people sell dope. Some get caught, some don't. Some people do criminal shit. Some get caught, some don't. That ain't my motherfucking plight. You happy because you ain't got motherfucking caught? That's on you. Then when you get caught, when the repercussions get caught, the older you get, when you get caught, then what you gonna say? And that's why a lot of empresses that have men that been in this more science, they done so much goofy ass shit. And when they run across me, they was like, Sheik, where you been? And I say, I don't deal with it. I said, you don't know me because I ain't in that world. I'm in the real fucking reality. I ain't fucking with this fuck ass a whole bunch of fake stuff on the internet where a person get dressed up and then take all that shit off and they be Negroes in the real world. That ain't me. So that's why a lot of people don't see me. Or I have hundreds and thousands of views. I say, if I have 100,000 views, the people supposed to share it, not me. All that stuff they be saying about the temples and this, man, they don't know nothing about the temple. They ain't been a part of one. How can you say the temples is this and that? Hey, people messed up, not the structure. Because I show y'all the structure. The body, how the temple is set up, what the prophet did, that's not messed up. It's these Negroes today that's messed up. That's confusing the people. That's holding the literature or don't know the literature and then act like they gods and just confuse everything. And when I come make it simple and plain and give it to you as a scholar and a researcher, for you can understand it and invite you to class and stay a small donation for you can get it for yourself, for you can learn, for you can build your family up, for you can build yourself up, for you can be a better noble, a better empress, for you can be all that you can be and what you're doing. That's what this is about. And I share it because the divine comes first. But most people got it in science, that's criminals. I show y'all cases, all this stuff, court cases, just like I was showing y'all the other day when Moors be criminals already. Running from the law and all that. And then they'll say, oh, I can claim my nationality, some AA22 number, some goofy ass Zodiac law shit, and think that's going to override your criminal shit. That's what these Moors be doing. Oh, Moors, we don't get arrested for crimes or nothing because for the Zodiac laws. Dude, that shit ain't law. That don't mean nothing. I keep telling people that's C.M. Bay wrote that. That shit don't. That's like if I write some shit and then get it registered in the Library of Congress. That's just you can look this shit up. That ain't law. Think about this now. Don't get mad at me. These is truths. These is facts. Hell, if C.M. Bay was in the flesh and he go kill or do anything to a motherfucker, you think he could take that shit and say, after he done killed people with sold dope and trafficking and doing all this shit, you think he could pull out some shit and say, but I'm a Moor and it don't pertain to me and all this shit? Do you really think that? Do you really think that? If you do think that just shows how crazy individuals are that's promulgating that crazy shit. I said, that ain't no law. That ain't, so you think that. So if you're today, your ass go kill or do murder anything, and you meet some goofy ass Moors that have your family paying all this money with some fake ass paperwork and have that all in your defense, man, that shit, it don't mean nothing. You still going to jail. Big fucking facts. I don't care who mad. I show you all the cases. I got thousands of them. This is the precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. When Moors just be talking that goofy shit, I said, dude, you need to quit. Because boom, here you go right here. Boom, boom, boom. All these Moors be with traffic shit. I'm trying to tell you what it is. That's big facts. Nobody can be mad at that. Nobody can be. You want the truth. The truth should make you free. This is more science. Everything else is understanding law, all facets of the law. Now, when you're dealing with facets of law, you can't arbitrarily explain the law. You can't have nobody up there playing law with you and have you take some stuff and have you contempt of court. And then when it come down, you being defense and somebody really defending you in your best interest, no one is there because there's smoke and mirrors and you got a whole bunch of paper. That means clearly nothing. That means clearly nothing. Like, why do you want a whole bunch of stuff? That means, why you want a whole bunch of paper? I know more. Oh, I got this fake passport for this person. I got this fake ID for this person. I'm on this a publication company. I got all this. And at the end of the day, anybody can sit down on them and with their kids, you know nothing. But you got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you know nothing, but got a whole bunch of stuff. You went on this publication and got this stuff. You went on that publication and got that stuff. Oh, yep, I claimed my nationality. And I asked Morris, where did you claim your nationality? I'll be waiting. And Morris can't say nothing. They be like, oh, we're such and such. I say, you ain't claimed your nationality. What are you talking about? You got a job? Yep. Your social security number the same, ain't it? You ain't changed. So what you talk about? You claim your nationality with who? Like how? Are you confident to sign your name, L or B, every time? Every time? Are you confident to that? Are you confident to reserve your right every time you go in a contract that you're willing? What I'm talking about. Exactly. The confidence to understand clearly the laws, how to operate in private, the understanding lawfully, to understand it, all facets, and not to get mad. Not when you don't understand something, be okay with correction. Be okay to look things up. That's what this is about. Not playing no make-believe, not just making TikTok videos and people be poor and then go to their common job every day. After a person make all these videos, a person go to their regular job, do all those things. And I'm like, come on, man, we can't be doing that. Talk to me, y'all, because I ain't even got it. I'm just warming up. I got time today. Man, nobody can be mad at what I'm saying if you want freedom. Nobody. I'm sorry. That's just like if you have somebody in your family that was a criminal or doing something wrong, and then you find out, what you not gonna say nothing? You gonna let them be still with that old shit, and then they do that to some other people in the family, and then when they really come out, people be like, yep, I knew they was doing that. I'm gonna be pissed the hell off. I might be more pissed off at you, because you knew. And then bring that shit to the table and prevent it. We'll just sit back and act like we don't know what's going on in our community. That ain't right. We're supposed to clean our own house. And we're supposed to, whoever we send out, that's who we send out. Not nobody stand up talking about they this, they that, and you know they crazy, and you know they goofy. Especially these ones the only people that are this education is the wisdom is those that don't have it. It's like the only people that talk about homosexuals and all that is people that got a goddamn problem. I don't have no problem with nobody. I just tell it how it is. See, you have religious people that'll trick you. Religious people act like they got degrees and master degrees, and they go to diploma mills in Nigeria and make a fake ass video and stand up, and then when they be questioned, all that shit fake. Do y'all see what I be saying? But then they are diseducation. But then they get some fake shit because they don't have the aptitude, what it takes to get a master's and go through that wisdom, academia, and be manufacturer, and not only be able to teach your people, but teach Europeans and make them sit on their hands, because most of them Masons. I'm 99 degrees, ancient rite of Memphis and Mizraim. I'm a spirit builder. I just keep it 100. I don't have nothing to hide. I'm part of the Philosophical Society. So I have to keep it real. Those are the only ones that diss wisdom and education is those that don't have it. But then you say you a scholar. So then we're a scholar and all that. I'm a scholar. I have aptitude. So then a scholar, we should understand some prerequisites. It should be a level of understanding that a scholar have. A scholar is not finna see another scholar or silverback and try to, how can I say it, be offensive with them. Now you might, raise up, but we ain't like that. But when you see supreme wisdom and you say you a scholar, well, I'm a scholar. And I'm a systematic scholar. I could break that shit down. I could take my teeth out as an analogy and get on the titty per se and feed everybody. I could show a person how to take, I got a lot of fish. I can show you how to not, I'm just going to give you mine. I can show you how to get your own fish and show somebody else how to fish. I can show you how to take your vessel and build your vessel up first before you go out. For your energy can be right, for the way you speak can go out. So your personal image, they see a sermon. When a person see you at the age that I am, it's something peculiar and unique about that individual. Why? Because when you see you like, damn, that's some work put in that. So when I talk about wisdom and educating people like they some scholars, yeah, I get all that. And yeah, a lot of people are shade tree mechanics. And not systematically. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. But it is going to be some steps that a person miss. I ain't saying a person ain't real. Yeah, I'm from the hood too. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I seen a lot of death. Most of my homie was murdered by Negroes. My brother killed Jelani Goodman Bay was murdered by a Negro. My homie Miguel Swain was murdered by a Negro. My big homie Michael Blackmore Bay was killed by a Negro. So I get all that. I saw my homie that I got my West Pack. I don't share a lot of that old shit, hood shit. So, and I'm educated and I'm initiated. So that's what you should want. And I have history and background working with kids in all different backgrounds. Red, black, orange, purple, green. Work with single moms. Red, black, orange, purple, green. In the shelters. Youth development institution. Being a pillar in my city of Flint and out here in Arizona, taking kids to the Phoenix Guns Sun games, Arizona Rattlers, going up to their school, volunteering, all that. Have a curriculum to teach kids, gather and compile over 20 books. And we'll just this scholarship, we'll let people, the European or the people go to school that they try to program. Yeah, you got some people that ain't went to school that's crazy as hell. It's like you got people that went to school that's crazy as hell. That's why you got to have a spirit of discernment. But we gonna diss some shit? That's goofy. That means you diss some wisdom because wisdom and knowledge is from the great God within. See, that's the problem. People be dissing that because they don't have the aptitude to do it. You understand? You'll go in debt for clothes and things. I didn't go to the university to go beg nobody for a job. I love wisdom. I went to the university to build my skills, to understand and research, to network, to understand my net worth. And my net worth is me. I said, if they can do it, I can create my own. It'll take a little bit more time. I just got to use all my resources to build myself. I understand that. I come from within without. I'm esoteric. A lot of people are exoteric, but I'm esoteric because I come from within and I use all my skills that I've acquired from my initiation from universities and my spirit building with my comedic degrees, and I do things. That's why I have mypdfbooks.com, morrishaberdasher.com. I have the ministry. I'm a counselor in real life. I'm a trainer in real life. I tutor kids in real life. And I travel on a circuit. People give me donations and I go to different churches and I lecture. So we the only group of people that diss academia. A prophet and an angel is no good in his own country. I understand that. And the workman is due his hire. We are the only people that don't think that. I go other places, it'd be crazy. I have to give a lot of money back and donate back to the children, because they're like, this ain't nothing. And so we the only group of people that diss academia and wisdom. We the only ones that'll say the white man is, and then to pick up Timbuktu and all that. And when I ask Morris, where are the first universities? Timbuktu, Salamanca, and Spain. So you're gonna diss university. Where they come to learn, where did Socrates, Plato, Aristotle come learn the science, Egypt. But then a Negro gonna diss education. You got to understand why. So all this science, the more the first one that did this, the more the first one that did this. So then if it's pseudo academia, if westernized education is pseudo, then it got to be an easternized thought. So that means we are the educators. So if that's the case, why are you going to diss wisdom and say, well, I ain't going to college to get an education, that paper in it? That ain't what I'm saying. You do those things that you want to do. What your kid going to aspire to? I ask these more that got children, you sit them down and ask them what their kid want to aspire to. One, they don't even know care about what they talk about. Ask their children what they want to aspire to. So whatever what they want to aspire to is going to take some education, right? Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Yes. So everything you saying is pseudo. When it come down to the come down, if you got a child, you ask these more, what you want your child to do? I want my child to grow up, be the best to be, go to college, boom, 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 do all this. But you just saying college is some white man shit. You just saying all this shit, blah, blah, blah. If your child a dancer and all that, she got to go get some type of education. She got to go get some type of skills. If you a skilled worker, if you work with your hands, if you a brick mason and all that, you got to go get some type of education. Do you see the psychosis of this shit? That's why I be saying you dealing with a whole bunch of shade tree mechanics because they don't have the aptitude and they poor mentally, spiritually, physically, and fucking financially. Point blank. Think about it. You sit a person down and ask them what their kid want to inspire. I want my kid to go to college, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And you'll make a video talking about some white man or some university and so this and all that because you don't have no spiritual wisdom, because you can't sit a European down and they'll listen, because you can't sit a lawyer down and they'll listen, because you can't sit a politician down and they'll listen, because you can't sit a goddamn prosecutor attorney and sit down there and listen because you ain't affiliated and you ain't anointed and you're not looked at as a spiritual head. That's what I do. I do it in our own word with my people and in academia and in the real world. And when I say they sit on their hands, not in disrespect. If you're a lower level Mason, when I come, you know who I am. So it's no disrespect. I'm going to speak with supreme wisdom. And there's going to be some things that you're going to be familiar with. So you're going to already know. And you're going to already identify who you are when the spirit builder comes, when 99 degrees come. It's just what it is. It ain't me having to identify. It's you have to identify because you know what it is when it's coming. You know somebody sent me. And this ain't no magical fake stuff. And I'm not saying like that. You have to be all the way right in all your endeavors. Why? Because it's the spirit law. That's why in the Bible, when I break things down, when I talk about everybody falls short of the law, if that's the case, pertaining to the law, we all did something. So that's why the spirit got to be right. The essence got to be right. We judge things based on spirit, intention. You got to understand that. That's big facts. I give you an analogy. If somebody, a little young man stealing some beans, bread, and some milk, and you catch him and you a cop or whatever, and you catch somebody else stealing candy or whatever every day, I want to know why this boy stealing beans and bread and milk every day. It's home. He's feeding his family, got some other variables. This other kid just stealing for the hell of it. This is what they do. But you got a young kid coming here all the time and you see how they look and they stealing beans, bread, and milk. I have to judge that in a different perspective. As a person with compassion, as a God man, I want to investigate that. I want to investigate to see what's wrong, see if there's any way that I can help that situation. Because there's a reason that this happened. Some people do things for no reason, just for the hell of it. But with this, it's a reason. I'm going to judge that in a different perspective. That's how I know when anybody coming to me or what's going on. I see what happens from the top. If you have a spirit of discernment, that means it's that halo over you. It's that aha moment over you. That means it's things that you see. I mean, when I talk about touching a person's chest or touching a garment, they just start telling everything. It ain't me doing that. That's real. That's why I say when people say they sheiks, and I say, well, I'm a sheik, but I'm a divine minister as well. I know a lot of sheiks that don't know shit. It's like some old pastor emeritus. They just there because they're just there spilling a whole bunch of shit to a whole bunch of criminals. And I promise you cannot go to prison with that stuff. I've been in the prisons. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I used to go to Thumb Correctional Facility. I used to be all in Lapeer, all that. You think you gonna go in there with that criminal stuff to all them brothers that's probably getting ready to get out or brothers doing a lot of time, and you come in there with that and try to have them fill in some fake ass paperwork, you probably won't make it out of there. You won't be able to go in. They won't let you in because they're gonna look you up and see what you're talking about. Like, no, if you're finna come in here and with that old criminal shit, you might get locked up. And I tell people, more science is on the books as a spirituality in the prisons. It is Sheik, yeah. How I know that? Hell, I go. How I know more. That's why I be telling people. I done unions, all that. Yeah. Just like Christian, Jehovah's Witness, all that. The problem is most people don't know anointed Moors like that. And most Moors not willing to be a part of that. Even before Moorish Science, I used to go in as a divine minister and talk to anybody and do unions to anybody. I used to go to Thumb Correctional Facility. I knew the chaplain. I went up there one day, suited up. After I graduated, I'm like, this is what I do. Boom, boom, boom. He like, you willing to do this? And he was like, I tell you what, when you come up here, we'll make it a way so you get donated. Once, and then I end up getting a grant. Then they got a grant. Then I was going up there consistently. And I'd go up in there and talk to the prisoners and everything. Europeans, all that, about science. Blow their mind, touching them. People like, man, dude, like, I'm getting ready to go to Jackson, man. I go out, but Sheik, can my family keep in touch with you? Absolutely. Can my son keep in touch with you? Absolutely. I go back and forth visiting people still on my own dime. On my own dime. On my own dime. I go to prison every time. When I go back home to Flint, I make sure I go see certain people that's locked up that I said I would. I've been seeing people for over 10 years. Over 10 years. So a person can't tell me, oh, Moorish Science ain't everybody. Yes, they do. Prison guys know Moorish Science. Real sheiks can go into prison just like anybody else if you anointed. They open the doors for it, and I go in there just like this. A lot of times I like to go suited up because, I like to get fly too. I'm the Moorish haberdasher. I specialize in custom suits. I got double breast suits, so I like to get haberdasher down, going there with my bow tie or whatever, just change it up. But then depending on how I feel, I wear my garments, So I just wanted to share that with, man. Like, people be holding up this. I recommend if y'all don't have Exhuming of the Nation, you go on mypdfbooks.com right now and go get it. mypdfbooks.com with the Z. I have all these books. What we did is converted a lot of books to PDF. I've read all these books. I lecture on it. Like I said, I don't even need the book to teach on. If you study what you love, I have this on there for a fraction of the price because it's PDF. You can go to Office Max to Staple and send an email to them, and they'll print it and bind it for you. I think we got it on there for like $50, I think, 50 or 45. I'm not sure. 50, one of them, 70, maybe 70, I don't know. But I think on Amazon it's like $200. And you can download it, and you can download it on your tablet. You can have it on your tablet, because who's going to be traveling with a whole bunch of books? I be laughing at people that's pulling out books. I said, so when you travel, you got all them books with you? No, hell no. So you can have them all on your tablet. And then and that's a real NFT. Why? Because your brother can get it. You can send it to your brother as a real NFT. See? You see all that? You see all that good work can be done? That's why I said more is a talk about this, but when they open it up, it'll burn their fingertips. Because everything they telling you is right here, telling you not to do it. That's why they won't share it. They just highlight shit. That be them TikTok people. And I ain't talking about nobody individual. You got to teach the signs. This is like a pastor. Okay, get your Bibles, turn to John chapter 1, and he be in John chapter 1 for fucking 2 hours. Man, I'm sleepy and I'm hungry. Then the fucking marching band come out. Then the cheerleader, all that shit. So you done read one fucking verse and it came up, man, stop. They ain't gonna touch it. Because it start burning you, all that shit people be saying that they can do, it be all false. Let me give you the introduction. This the introduction. Man, when I first moved to Arizona, Moors, a lot of these older Moors didn't know who I was, right? So I had my metaphysical temple. I met these older Moors. They used to get put out of all their buildings. You know what I mean? So I can't say the person's name. This how they be trying to hustle people. Yeah, we gonna have, and I'm gonna say the name. Fuck it, because they tried to hustle. They gonna try to say, yeah, we gonna have a Cedar Duke come here, and we all pay him $500. This what these brothers saying. I ain't saying ain't nothing wrong with a Cedar Duke. I ain't got no one. So let's make that clear. But I'm telling you the hustle that they trying to do. Oh man, we all gonna give $500. I said, to do what? For a Cedar Duke to come and teach us from the Exhuming of the Nation. Man, I spit my juice out. I said, I don't need nobody to come teach me from Exhuming of the Nation. Yeah, man, this is what they saying. I heard that book deep. So one of my homies here with me from Vegas, he is. They're like, y'all don't know who Sheik is? I'm younger and all. I'm like, he is the Exhuming of the Nation. So I just start interpreting the donation. They're like, that's a donation. I'm like, duh. I'm like, then I started pulling them out of my backpack. Boom, boom. I had like 20 of them. You know, they were like, boom, boom, boom. And they were like, you know all this? I said, dude, I just sit back and listen. So when I just sit back and listen to people lie, and then now you can't go back. And then when you can't go back, all you got to do is get the hell away. And I tell people, stay away from that shit. Stay away from that fraudulent shit. Stay away from that fraudulent shit. I ain't saying nothing wrong with my man, but I'm not finna be paying nobody to come talk to me about what. I don't care about nobody with no badge on. I don't care about none of that. No disrespect to nobody. That shit don't mean nothing to me with no AA22 number on it, because I know the fucking real. None of that shit means nothing to me. If it means something to you, so be it. But it don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to me. Period. I don't care how nobody feel about it. That shit don't mean nothing to me. You ain't gonna get no special privileges. You ain't finna pop your feet 3 times and disappear. You ain't finna stand in your skirt. None of that shit mean nothing. I don't need that shit. I don't need none of that. Guaranteed. And if anybody be around me, they know. When the Bible, when they talk about the C part, not in no way, but in respect. Because I give respect. I operate and walk in no fear. I operate under supreme wisdom. I'm operating under a whole nother authority. I'm operating under something that's bigger than me. So if I'm operating on something that's bigger than me and it's bigger than everything, that's the creator of the creations, man, you got to feel that vibration. You got to feel that thunder and that lightning. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the toughest gangster that getting ready to go do life in a joint. I guarantee you, I can sit down with you and we both can touch each other's heart. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. How? Because I already done been there. I already done been in the jungle. That's how I know. That's how I know when God come in the jungle, a guy can touch the bosom of a straight gangster. I know that for a fact. That's why I love organization. That's why certain things about the Nation of Islam that I love, that organization. Look how that belief system can take a man and change them within. I don't care about the ideology. I ain't here to destroy a man, but you ain't finna bring nothing and say this and that when you saying this is supreme law. That's what I discuss, but I don't care if you believe in a rock. That's why I say this supreme wisdom with me. That's why I say I teach more science. I have a clear understanding of whatever the fucking catchphrase you want to use of all law. That's why I'm under the triple rule of the adapt chamber. That's why I'm anointed and consecrated. I can go to anyone, no matter what their background is, and use their book and anoint it. Guaranteed. So, let me give you a clear, one of my what do you say? Yep, thanks for the donation. I have to stop because my homie keeps saying, man, put your cash app up there. I don't like to do that. I like to do, when I have Sunday school and adapt class, I have Sunday school on Sunday, and I have a adapt class on Saturdays, and then we work out 4 times a week. So that's the only time I'll ask people for donations, or if they will give a suggested donation, and I'll give literature. Or if I have a scheduled a lecture, and I'll say, I'm gonna do a lecture, but I don't care of no one giving me no donation if I just jump on here and give wisdom. That's what you want to do. If you like what I'm saying, I'm illuminating you, or just like you say, hey man, I'll go buy snacks or I'll go buy this. If you like that, you can give a small donation to Cash App $KGB. But if you do give a donation, please leave your email information on there. I think you can do that somehow, and I'll send you literature. So if you send $10, I'll send you a lot of my books that I gather and compile, and I'll start sending you other books. Every time you give a donation, it got to be at least a $10 donation, and I don't have no problem. I'm gonna treat that person that give $100 donation the same way the person that give 10, because that's what it is. And if you want a tax exempt receipt from giving your donations, if you give them consistently, I have no problem with that at the end of the year. It's no problem. So let's deal with it. I have no problem with any other Moors. You got to understand when we say citizens of a clean and pure nation, a nation of holy people that has been ordained in due time by the great God of the universe and fulfilling the prophecies of our prophet Noble Drew Ali and much of the written works in the biography is either unknown or unpracticed by many organizational sheiks and adapts. In Exuna of the Nation, chapter 23 and 24 of this wisdom are where true Moors are supposed to be at this time. We talk about the Moorish proclamation and declaration. Please read this simple stuff, man. No one can get mad at me. Read it. Read the proclamation and declaration. Read it. Read Act Law 4, 5, 6, and 7. Read it. And dirty Moors have been busy burying us as a people. Just as Prophet Noble Drew Ali warned, they will make this movement down so low, it will disappear from the face of the earth. Oh, thanks, Noble. Thanks. It will fear from the face of the earth. Right? You Moors won't know I have been here. And the writer and the author was saying he was a member of the temple for 15 years. When I came out here, like I said, I had to go to Chicago and go places. Man, you can go to Chicago, all these different temples, and most of them Negroes don't know each other. I said, what is this, Crips and Bloods? Oh, that shit don't even make sense. How can you have multiple temples in Chicago and then brothers don't even know each other? And then not only that, they hating on each other. I said, this shit is some nigga shit. Excuse my candor. This is some nigga shit. Point blank. You be mad at me for saying that if you want to. I don't care. That's how organized people be. How the hell can it be multiple temples in one area and all these Negroes different? That don't make sense. And all of them poor. Y'all all need to come to fucking together and one of the twin powers activate and come and conglomerate. That it don't make sense. Oh, I know what it is though, because everybody want to be God. Stupid shit. Real talk. And the author was a member of one of the Moorish organizations, the MSTAs, doing the moderation of Robert Love L. And remember I showed y'all the paperwork from the CCRD, the County of Recorder of Record of Deeds, telling you that the 101099 ain't no fucking, excuse my candor, trust fund at the end of the rainbow. It's a religious affidavit. I showed you that. I broke it all down. All that stuff was legal, lawfully, legally, all that shit false. Everything they were saying. And nobody can be mad at that. That shit public information. That's why I said you can't come to no official like myself and others and try to just say some shit and spill some shit and then try to say it's legal in this law. And I said, well, what about this? And then these motherfuckers start running. Then they start running. That's fraud. So you defraud. So you trying to defraud your own people? Yep. That's fraudulent concealment. Real shit. And he went on record in the Fourth Circuit Federal Courts of Corporate Government of the United States, stating that the author and many other author members were not Moorish Americans and never a part of the Moorish Zion Temple of America. But like I tell y'all, how can some Negro say you're not a Moor? See, that's the dumbest shit ever. And this disposition would normally seem harmless, except it was a lie, laced with the assumable identification, which combined members with nationality. See? That's why I tell you how people be getting caught up when they tell it, when it's somebody you think you claiming your nationality and you're not even listening clear. Member ID. Nobody can make you nothing. I'm telling you, that's why understanding the religious laws is understand it. You got to understand it. And what's the two pillars that was taken from you? When people talk about, I just deal with the civics. So you don't deal with divine. So you still missing, but you so smart. See? Following a 3 later successorship of path of moderates, beginning with first post Drew Ali Freemason, named Charles Kirkman Bay. Thank for the donation. Hey, my noble keeps saying, put your donation. It's Cash App $ KG Bay. If anybody got it on their heart. I know. And a lot of people won't teach it, but they'll hold it up and give a line, because when they start reading it more, they'll be like, damn, that's why in order to get out the fire, you have to been through the fire. And most people ain't went through the fire. They get in the fire and all that fraud shit, get it. You got to close that book up. You got to close it up and put it on the shelf. Bring it back out. Bring it back out. Beginning with first post Drew Ali Freemason, named Charles Kirkman Bay, Love L2, claimed to have the power to make Moorish Americans out of members, divine ministers out of sheiks, and adapts out of officials. To make a man as one can make a mason is the practice of Freemasonry at its most unscrupulous heights. To nationalize, aka make or denationalize any human is both a sin and a crime. No God, prophet, or grand man has the power to nationalize any man, woman, or child. And those that have taken away a man or a woman's true identity are criminals. And this practice gave the U.S. courts and the outside world the illusion that the Moorish Science Temple of America was a religion whose members under its tenets were nationalized with the name Moorish America and loaned the organizational marks of El and Bey. Needful to say, this nationalization hoodwinking was never empowered or practiced by Prophet Noble Drew Ali or any other upright man. No man has the power to nationalize another man. This would change him from the descended nature of his forefathers. If one can make, aka nationalize, a Moorish American, one can also make a Chinese or an Irish or a Sudanese at will. And this act brought the light to a 75-year practice of clandestine cultism within the various Moorish Science Temple of America groups, showing how it has systematically denounced 98% of its members as non-Moorish or repo their tribal names in Bay and El. An entity that eats its young can never be prosperous. This is why John Doe public of today knows nothing about the true uplifting duties performed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Due to the national inactivity of the Moorish officials, there are over 60 million so-called Negro, Black, and colored people who do not know the great God of their forefathers ordained to them a Redeemer. Then with the Prophet, Allah, peace be upon him. I'm in the flesh. That's a prophet and an angel. Read your one-on-ones and your one-and-twos. They all deserve to know these truths and make a choice. This is the main reason that this science and myself will never give another Moorish Science Temple of America or any other organization the jurisdiction to neither rule over me or you, nor be a deterrent to your national freedom and bamboozle your birthrights to be God. I'll never allow that. No more, I don't care who they are, because they're not the author, the beginning, or the end of who you are. You are more by birth. But when it comes to the science, you got to be under the right guy, under the right map, under the right divine minister, under the right sheep. I'm right here. And I'm giving this, and I'm speaking with no slander, but as warnings to guide to the ignorant and guides for those who are still practicing these sinful ways. Choices are for free, and my decision stands upon the principles of love. And as a charter organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, that I'm part of is chartered. My organization is chartered. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. The Moorish Science Temple of America constitutional limitations are restricted to only teach its members their nationality and divine creed. See, that's how I said, if you say you the Moorish or you following the teachings of our prophet, well, okay, well, as a charter organization, based off your bylaws, it's restricted. I hope you know what restrictions are, to only teach its members their nationality and divine creed. This is the only way for it to live out its purpose, the uplifting of fallen humanity. From its inception from 1913, the Noble Group was never intended to be recognized as a national government, Islamic sect, secret order, or as a religion, That's why I said this is a school. You got to understand that. You choose to who you are. I don't care what cloth you under. That's why it's one nationality in many cultures. That's why I tell people I'm a guide and a map. I don't care about all that other goofy shit. I'm the great I am. That's why I tell people, when you get to that level, a God man can go anywhere. A God man can go amongst people that don't even look like him and be exactly who he's supposed to be. Because my language and my message is universal. And yet today, most Moorish Science Temple of America is widely known and accepted as such, as our founder has been reduced from a prophet of Allah to a Shriner, just like goofy Negroes try to do me. But it's okay. My people know my voice. Just like our feds. I tell Moors, how you gonna diss the feds that don't even wear the feds and you don't even understand it? And I have the literature for you can clearly understand it. For you can stop saying our empresses can't wear the fez. Oh, so it's okay for the European empresses, the daughters of American Revolution, to wear your fez, and our empresses go under that initiation. I don't care if it's Negro, Black, color, European, Albion, whatever you want to call it, and then get their pentagram turned sideways to where they pH balance off. Point blank, man. Our fez, the most highest respected headdress in the world, is worn mostly in secret, like shameless thieves in the Blue Lodge. And some of the members have been pushed so far astray until they are known as paper terrorists before being recognized as a pure nation. And not one national grand sheikh has ever gone before the United States Congress of the nations of the earth to proclaim the Moorish Americans as an upright, independent, and fearless nation people. It happened before. I showed y'all. I showed y'all this stuff. Why? Because they do not possess the divine. The divine. See, you can be all that, a sheik, all that. It got to take some divine tools where official will listen to you. It got to take connections because they don't have and they don't possess the divine tools to make such an overdue national stand. But because of not knowing how to use them, you got to know how to use them. The people should be behind this and help us push this. The Moorish Science Temple of America subsequently does not have the power to issue true citizenship, nationality, or sovereign autonomy, and it never will. Listen clearly to this. The Moorish Science Temple of America subsequently does not have the power to issue true citizenship, nationality, or sovereign autonomy, and it never will. For over 7 decades, this organization has assumed no Moorish American can exist without their authorization. Oh, how wrongly they have been to have forgotten that we are Moorish by the descendant nature of our forefathers. And there is no one, no damn organization, there is no one, no organization that is able to change that law. The immutable truth is the Moorish Americans were in existence 21 years before the birth of our prophet, before the founding of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And for those who love the great prophet of Ali and study law, know that to be a Moorish American is not contingent upon being a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And those who labor under the social laws of oppression deceive themselves about this fact, especially with this publication and descriptions of Noble Drew Ali and still Moors. The duty of members is to strictly preserve the laws of unity and not to run away individuals, families, and groups of Moorish loyalists as mostly religious organization subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. The Moorish Science Temple of America has lost its innermost bearings on the teachings the Moorish Americans to be a clean and pure nation of people. Yet this is what every Moor must do in order to ultimately be themselves as a people. No lawful chartered organization under color of authority should assume the lawful judgment of determining a person's divine birthrights to have a nationality. A Moorish American is in good standing as long as he or she pleases the Grand Sheikh and a return Negro, black, and color if they do not. On the international scale of things, that ain't living. Every man and woman has a divine and natural birthright to have a nationality. The Moorish Science Temple of America has no lawful jurisdiction within those realms. It could if we could teach the members to grow into citizens of their own government. Today, define nationality is of the utmost necessity. See, this stuff we got to know, man. I don't want to get all on that because I teach it, and I'm petitioning Moors to come and learn systematically with a body. That's why being faithful, being a due member, being a part of it for you can learn, getting the wisdom, not jumping all over, being okay with it, not letting nobody destroy you because they just saying some stuff. We're in an information age. Knowledge is abundant as the air, and my people still suffer due to a lack of truth. And without truth, you have never known freedom. And truth is here. And it's pulling the covers off all secret societies. I do this all the time. Thanks for the donation, man. Y'all want to hear a little bit about this 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment before I get out of here? If y'all do, talk to me. Do y'all want to hear a little bit about this 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment? When these people talk about your freedom is connected to your blackness, man, that's civil mortis. That's why Obama told you, according to science and law, black means death. Put death in front of everything you say black. This is too simple. Talk to me, man. Y'all want to hear a little bit about the 13th and 14th Amendment for these brothers talk about, oh, black people no law. Not as you saying you black. What about the black Christian codes? What about before Abraham Lincoln was the president? and he defended the Moor from Portugal, was like, yeah, I ain't black. Because black, you can't have land, you can't be married. And if the Moors ruled Spain and Portugal for 700-800 years, that's Spain and Portugal. Why you think somebody, why you keep coming up with this Africa shit? Africans don't call themselves black, not from that continent. Everybody ain't from there. If the Moors ruled Spain and Portugal for years and Europe and all that, what y'all think the Corsica flag is with the Moorish head with the bandana on it? What do y'all think that's all about? This real history. This real school. And then I did a whole lecture about how they whitewash you out of Peter Salmon and Oliver Cromwell out the Battle of Bunker Hill. The books they give the kids in academia. They got to record at GCU. I did an oral dissertation on it. I was like, I'm gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings because we all running Europeans. No disrespect. Alan Beck was talking about it. My professor was like, you talked about that before Alan Beck even did the video. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I be laughing. A lot of these people used to be at my lectures at the college. Like when I talk about the Philosophical Society, all of them be there. A lot of people you don't even know. A lot of Hollywood motherfuckers, like a lot of people that wrote The Simpsons, they part of it. I'm telling you. Like people be showing videos about that Illuminati card game. I got it. It came out in the 90s. I got the whole card game, the whole thing. Oh, it's brand new still. Don't y'all know, man, a lot of stuff be fake. Like people just think they can, like with tarot cards, like all of a sudden people be doing tarot cards. And I'm like, tarot cards are not for no, you just can't get on the internet and read no tarot card. Whose spirit you read? What you conjuring up? And see, that's just like that Cleo, call me now back in the day. A lot of that shit ain't even valid. A true shaman, a true sheik, a true medicine man, I'm a tasawwuf. I don't show a lot of that stuff with my Orisha, my Santeria cards, because that's private stuff for private people when they want certain readings. I ain't just on YouTube doing that shit. What you conjuring up for who? You can't conjure nothing up. If you know that. So watch this. Y'all ready? Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national governments in which they live. The 14th and the 15th Amendment brought the North and the South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at that time without power with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and the 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. You ain't ever thought about that? Huh? That Dick Gregory said, huh? That's clear. That's clear. That's clear, y'all. Contrary to miseducation, Eurocentric propaganda, Negrocentric propaganda, miseducation received in a lot of public schools and a lot of our own people. A lot of American students. If the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 did not free a single Negro, right? Black or colored, slave from the legally binding slave laws of 1779, which were the United States Constitution of the 3/5 clause, right? Stay with me. Stay with me. However, not the same can be said of the 13th Amendment of 1865. Remember, the first of the three Reconstruction Amendments did in fact abolish the institution of slavery, which opened the door of freedom to all African descents in the North America. So you got to understand that the 13th Amendment was the greatest and only document of manumissions. So when I talk about manumissions, I hope we know what a manumission consists of. Ever to be enacted by the Congress of the United States. True in fact, Moors, although the two sections ratified were just watered down versions of the 20 sections originally proposed, just one section was needed to free all African descents from their mental slavery, stay in context, and constitutional bondage in the United States. Watch this. But then, after that day in 1865, come on, y'all know what I'm talking about, when two sections passed of the 13's original 20, yet it only took one of those to free all the slaves from every U.S. nook and cranny. This is what the author said. Oh my Lord Jesus, they done freed the Nagas. From Capitol Hill, there rose such a clatter. Masons sprang from every lodge to restore order in this chaotic matter. Heavens to Betsy, we have owned them since the raising of our flag. Like the old pharaohs, we must reclaim our property before our economy sags. Plot on your Republicans and Democrats, both Northerners and Southerners, all for if slavery ain't recycled soon, we will lose our invitation to the European conqueror's ball. To remember that the United States has never been without its slaves. It's a vital ingredient to understanding factual American history, but it's not often used by most historians. It is most also to be remembered for the only time in her history, the U.S. ratified three major bodies of law into its constitution, which concerned her beloved parcels. These three Reconstruction Amendments were written in the exclusive interest of slaves, ex-slaves, and all other Negroes only. As well will be shown in a later chapter when I spoke on the word Reconstruction, was used to identify the upgrading of slavery more so than downloading post-war America into a Reconstruction period. Both of these political movements took place at the conclusion of the Civil War. That's why the hidden cause of the Civil War was if you had a little tittle of that Negro blood in you, they say mulatto, but you know what you were, a Negro. They got that book on Amazon for stacks. I got it in the back. But it's later, which most people assume indicative of what was actually being reconstructed. Without the enslavement of the indigenous people of the West Africa, these laws would have never been ratified into existence. Oh, we getting good. See, this history. In order to understand why the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment, hold on, I'm sorry, I got all these devices up, man. I'm on YouTube and Instagram and all. Let me put it up for my gratitude, Noble. But to understand this particular as pertaining to American ex-slaves as granted privileges as opposed to rights, you got to focus briefly on what prompted their ratifications. And this enlightenment is necessary because of most U.S. citizens were fooled into believing that the U.S. actually surrendered her slaves with no strings attached. That's why our Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in one of his quotes, even a fish would not take the bait, knowing the hook was hidden therein. That's why you got to understand that America is totally unknowledgeable of being a slaveless government. Slavery, especially chattel slavery, when we talk about the machination of a Maya people, it has always been a divine issue, Moors. And the average time any nation has to suffer so-called slavery, which they say is about 400 years, right? That's the duration of, in this context, physical bondage. In this context. And this was no exception to the enslavement of West Coast Africans by the, no disrespect, pale-skinned nations of Europe. From 1492 to 1865, it's 373 years. And although U.S. slavery was only opposed by a few during Abe Lincoln's presidency, the historically versed knew the time was nigh for their emancipation. Remember, Abraham Lincoln as a man, he didn't care whether the Africans were freed or remained in slavery. Remember? If Moors tell the truth, if you really have the Abraham Lincoln notes and his diary, which we have, the Emancipation Proclamation was such a perfect hoax of executive power. There are only 140 years later that still believe it freed slaves. Lincoln, like most politicians, used his knowledge of history as a platform for his office. The broader their historical base, stronger the political race. Abraham Lincoln knew history and knew it well from the world's leading history book, which is the Bible. They knew this, the book of Deuteronomy, the Leviticus Code, which dealt with the system of slavery. And at that time, it will do well to point out today's enslavement of the so-called Africans was strongly supported by three of the world's four major religions. Buddhists, the Hindus, Confucians was the only religion order except from the modern enslavement of ripe-skinned people of the continent of Africa. That's why a true Moor said we respect all the laws and the prophets. Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, come on, man. This is by no means suggest that hands of India are innocent of African enslavement. When they want to talk about some transatlantic slave trade, man, hell, shit, you need to talk about the damn transatlantic slave trade. You need to talk about all the stuff that happened in Spain. Come on, the Spanish Inquisition. Who you think that was? History been stained by the world's most Africans of all time. The pale Arabs, the ARAPs, not the ARAP. If a European philosopher is right here, he'd be like, he's telling the truth, because the ARAB, that's not ancient, that's modern. The ARAP is you and me. When I talk about who are the Siddhas of India, Jews of all people and Muslims with support of Christians, all with their holy books in hand, marked over 5 million Africans from 1092 to this present day. It's a lot of stuff that you got to know. So when you say the us of the subtitle, when I say let's make us or let us make a citizen, is referring to the corporate United States of America. See, it's a lot of basic things, you know. That's why you want to be educated the right way and not nobody sitting here trying to rile you up and have you all shackled and then you looking by yourself. We ain't here to bark like no dogs. That's why the constitutional concept and interpretation of a citizen did not derive its authoritative powers from the Declaration of Independence of the original 13 United States of America, right? In the course of human events, they discovered that a person was bound by the laws of nature and nature's God, that they held these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and their creator endows them with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, the right to live, liberty, the right to be free, and the pursuit of happiness, the right to be content. Founded, just like what Moore said, we don't need to know all that. All my members and nobles got life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the tools that they use. That's why I say forget more science. I just deal with law. And they'll sit on their hands and be like, sir, we don't have no problem with you and your body. I know. You hear what I said? Me and my body, my body, my body, my nation, my tribe. The totality of these rights became the Bill of Rights. The U.S. Constitution was written by the people and for the people. But what people? By what people and for what people? These laws established by freeborn and free men were from living souls who are sovereigns from the wombs of their mothers. U.S. citizens, on the other hand, are belligerents in the field and are subject to the jurisdictions, Washington, D.C. And all U.S. citizens are 14th Amendment persons, property implemented by the Civil Rights Act of 1866. which was originally established to disguise the newly freed slaves. And the only problem was that the European political powers of those days dug a shallow grave of fiend sensory for the ex-slaves, and they later fell into it themselves. This is why, to this day, if the Americans actually knew what a U.S. citizen was, according to their law, they really wouldn't want to be one. This their law. Thanks for the donation, Noble. And what most people fail to realize is during the drafting of the great document, the European men of age 21 were the only people recognized in America. Women, other nationalities, and slaves were not considered as whole persons or people, at least not with the rights that pale-skinned male had to respect. No disrespect. That's why that women's right things, that wasn't for our women. We didn't have a problem with our women going to do out and working. That was a European thing. They disrespected their lady. And then they got us in that web. And then these women got on this damn Section 8 shit and all this cheap